Good morning, friends. It's bright and early, and I've got a full day today. And I wanted to get started early and bring you guys along for the ride. I've got some cooking and prep work to do, and then I've got to do some laundry and housework. I won't bring you along for the laundry and housework because we all know how that goes. But first thing this morning, I have put 2 chickens in my electric roaster. This is a Nesco 18 quart electric roaster, and I love it. To do bulk stuff in it, it's just awesome. I don't have a pot that would fit 2 whole chickens in it to boil up. So this is a lifesaver. It's a lifesaver for when you're doing canned soups and broths and stuff like that. What I'm going to use these 2 chickens for is, once it's cooked, I'm going to pick off all the meat, and I've got 2 freezer meals that I'm going to prepare. One is a cream cheese rotel chicken burrito, and one is a smothered green chili chicken burrito that I'm going to go ahead and fix up, put them in pans, put them in the freezer, so that would be a quick meal. And then I'm going to use the broth out of this. I'm going to make chicken broth and can some of that up. So that's my plans for the 2 chickens. I've got it set on about 350. I'm going to put the top on it and just let it go. So while this is cooking, I'm going to make 2 pizza crusts with my bread maker. I'm just going to make the dough so that I can also pop that in the freezer and we can have quick pizzas. On the plan today too is I've got some packages of mushrooms. These are the baby bellas, and I am the world's worst. I buy mushrooms just about every time I go to the grocery store because we love them, and probably 7 out of 10 times I let them sit in there too long and they get slimy and I have to throw them out. So last time that some was getting old and I knew that I wasn't going to use them, I sliced them up and I put them in my dehydrator, and I love them like that. You can just throw them into any dish, and voila, you have them, and they're shelf stable and you can keep them for a long time. So I'm also going to be working on the mushrooms. So let's get started on the pizza dough. Okay, I'm going to be making my pizza dough in my bread maker. I have a Hamilton Beach bread maker that I think I got at Walmart. And it's so awesome for breads. I have made doughs, I have made breads. They turn out perfect every time. I do enjoy making bread, you know, the old-fashioned way. It's pretty easy too, but this is just so hands-off. And when I've got a lot to do, I've got a lot of cooking and cleaning to do, this is the way to go. I put the ingredients in, I set it, and it's done. It's not done that fast, but you know what I mean. Let me show you. Let me bring you down here and show you. This is it. It's, like I said, it's a Hamilton Beach. It has got the bread well in it. It locks down. It's also got this that attaches to the bottom that does your stirring and kneading for you. And we are going to start out by adding 1.5 cups of warm water. And you need to do it, if you have a bread machine, you need to do it in this order. So I've got 1.5 cups of warm water. I've got 3 tablespoons. You can use olive oil, whatever oil you have on hand. Vegetable oil is fine, but have been using for a while avocado oil. So I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of my avocado oil. I go back, I mean, I still have olive oil that I use, but I really like the avocado oil, and it has some health benefits to it. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. And then you're going to use 3 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 1. 2. 3. And then you're going to have to put your I use active dry yeast in this because they recommend bread machine yeast or instant yeast when you're using the bread machine, but I just use my active dry because I'm just making a dough and it's going to rise outside of the machine also. So I keep my yeast in the refrigerator, so I took some out to let it come up to room temperature. And you're going to use 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. 1, 2, and this is a half, so I'm just going to use half of a half and do it like that. Okay, that's all there is to it. You just dump your ingredients in. You need to do it wet ingredients first, then your flour and your yeast on top. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to hit stop. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to do stop. Okay. You have, I don't know if you can see this, but you have what cycle for every kind of bread that you're going to make. Now I'm just going to be doing a dough. So a dough is cycle 8. So I'm going to change, here's a cycle button, and I'm going to put this on 8. And then I'm going to hit start. And there it goes on its own. It takes about an hour for this to come up. And so while it's doing this, I am going to slice up my mushrooms to get them in the dehydrator. Okay, I am going to start chopping up these mushrooms, and what I'm doing is I've just got a damp paper towel, and I just kind of just wipe over and get some of that dirt off. You can see there is dirt on them. But that's what I'm doing now. I'm working on getting them cleaned up, and then we'll slice them up. And I'm just going to say that it's early in the morning. I don't look good. And my hair, I usually always have it pulled up, especially in the kitchen while I'm cooking. Get down, cat. Oh, that's real life. Sorry, guys. That's real life. I usually have it pulled up because my hair is just coming out awful. I mean, I shed so bad. And I guess it's menopause. I don't know. But I've been in menopause for a while. So I don't know exactly what it is. But anyway, I always have my hair pulled up and some kind of ball on top of my head when I'm cooking. Because if I don't, people are going to find a hair in their food. And that's nasty. And I do cut these pretty thick because they're going to draw up. You know, all the moisture is going to be dehydrated out of them, and so they draw up, and they're pretty skinny after they dehydrate. So if you start out with a skinny slice, you're just going to have a little minuscule thing. So anyway, I do this, and then I start putting them on my dehydrator trays. And the dehydrator that I have, it's a cheap one that I got off of Amazon years ago. Most of the time, if the stems are pretty tender, I just go ahead and chop that up too. It's not going to hurt nothing. I had this big one, and it was fibrous and tough and just busted everywhere. But if the stems, this one's a little bit fibrous, I'll pop that one out. If they're The bigger ones are usually kind of hard, and I just pop those out before I slice them. I was going to show you guys, this is some that I had done a couple of months ago, and this is what it ends up looking like. You can throw these into, oh God, it smells so good. You can just throw these into soups, stews. You can rehydrate them a little bit in some hot water, and then drain the water off and cook it in dishes. Like if you've got pasta dishes, pasta sauces, or something like that. That's not going to be cooking in a lot of liquid like soups and stews. Just rehydrate them and throw them in your pasta dishes. It's a really good way to keep your mushrooms. Okay, I'm finished with the mushrooms. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8 trays of mushrooms. And now we're going to head over here to the dehydrator and get them started. This is my dehydrator. It's a HOMDOX. Like I said, I just got it off of Amazon. It wasn't expensive as far as dehydrators go. Plug it in. Can you see? Yeah. And I'm going to put the lid on my trays. Stack it up here. Okay, and I am going to set this. I'm going to set it for 6 hours and 122 degrees. So in about 6 hours it should be done. Of course, I'll keep a check on them to make sure. So I'll see you back in a minute. I'm going to go put some laundry in. Okay, before I put the laundry in, I'm going to show you the bread, what it looks like. Right now it's on a rise. Got about 45 more minutes. It takes like an hour and 20 minutes. I thought it just took an hour. And then here's where our chicken is. Got a little ways on that. Okay, friends, our pizza dough is ready. I've just got a clean bowl, and I just sprinkled some flour in the bottom of it because it is going to be a sticky mess. When I stirred it around, it was up to here. I should have showed y'all a picture, and when I started doing this, it deflated, which is fine. It's a little bit of a sticky mess. Get all of it out. Put some flour on my fingers. And get the paddle out. Got some chunks of flour that didn't get mixed in good, and that'll happen. I'm just taking it out. I'll throw it away. I'm just giving it a couple of tosses. And I'm going to leave it in this bowl. It'll rise some more. And then I'm going to get started on my second one. I'm going to put a clean towel over it. We're going to let it rest while the other one is making. And I'll do the same process. I'm not even going to clean out the bowl because it's the same stuff going in. But I do need to put the paddle in. And it's a certain way. You just got to spin it around. to get it on there. Okay, so I'm going to do batch number 2 the exact same way. Okay, you can see that our pizza crust is just about doubled in size. So I'm going to get it ready to put in the freezer. This recipe makes one like extra large pizza, and that would be fine for us, and we'd have leftovers, of course. But we like 2 different kinds of pizzas. Well, he likes more meat on his, where I'm just a pepperoni girl. He'll eat just a pepperoni pizza, but he prefers to have some ground beef or Italian sausage or some, bacon, something extra on his. So I'll split this in 2 and, make a pizza to his liking, and then make my plain old pepperoni pizza. So I'm going to split it in 2 with my bench cutter. You just have to eyeball it. Well, come on. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more flour just to keep it not be so sticky. Okay, and then underneath my little seal pat, I've got some plastic wrap, which probably wasn't the best idea. And I'm just going to put that on there. And wrap it up. And get another piece. And wrap it up. And we have our pizza dough. Okay, I think that our chicken is just about done. I just took 2 forks and did like that, and it's easily coming apart. I ended up cranking the heat up on the roaster to 450 degrees. It wasn't coming to a rolling boil. I probably did that about an hour into the process, and it has been cooking for just a little over 2 hours. And I think that we're at the sweet spot where everything is done. When I pull the legs and the wings apart, I don't see any pink or anything like that, because that's just gnarly gross. Okay, I'm gonna get these. I put the rack in it, so I can easily lift this and just get the chicken out, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm gonna lift this out, and I'm just gonna go ahead and forewarn you, I'm not gonna be graceful granny on this because it's heavy. The wire rack is kind of, told you. And again, real life. Okay, so we're just going to get down into the cavity here. And see, the wing and stuff is just wanting to fall off. It's wanting to fall apart. I'm just going to pop it over here in this bowl. The wire rag didn't work. Bleeper. Okay, I've got these 2 plopped over here in this bowl, and I'm going to let those cool down. Now then, from this, I'm going to just let it keep simmering, because once I pick all the meat off of the bones from the chicken, I'm going to put the bones in here, add some veggies, and we're going to make a chicken broth out of this. So I'm just going to put the lid back on it. I'm going to turn down the temperature some and just let it hang out. It's going to be a few minutes for the chicken to cool off to where I can handle it. So I'll be back. Of course, for you, it'd just be like 2 seconds. Okay, I got all my chicken off the bones. I put the carcass and the fat off the chicken in here because the fat gives it a lot of flavor. I've got in this bowl, I've got a bag of the mini carrots. I didn't have a lot of vegetable scraps. I usually save my vegetable scraps, but I've been composting them. So I did buy one of those little mini things of baby carrots. So I got that. I've got about 4 whole cloves of garlic with the skins. And I got about 4 onions quartered up and all the skins. And to this, the secret ingredient, the carrot was good, is the better than bouillon. This gives it so much depth and flavor. I'm going to put like 2 teaspoons in here, and that makes it just even more delicious. You can do it without the bouillon. It is fine chicken stock, don't get me wrong, but this just kicks it up at that level. And then I'm going to stir this up. I'm not going to add any additional salt, because when I put the raw chickens, whole chickens in here with the water, I salted it then. And I'm really bad, y'all, about if I'm going to make soup or whatever and I get out a can of broth, I'm real bad about throwing salt in soup. It's just ingrained in my head, you know, to salt and pepper. So I don't want to add any additional salt in case I'm a goofus, and I do that when I'm making the soup. I don't want it to be too salty. You can do a taste test while your soup is cooking, and if you need additional salt, you can add it. Okay, now then, this is going to cook for about 24 hours. It is 11:05, so probably about tomorrow, when I get home from church, if we go to eat somewhere or something, when I get back tomorrow afternoon, it'll be for sure ready and we can jar it up. Oh, and I'm going to put the temperature, I'm going to bring it up to a boil on about 500, and then I'm going to kick it back down to about 300 for the 24-hour cook. And if that's too high, just keep a check on it. I don't want a rolling boil, I just want a slow simmer. Okay, friends, we've got the chicken deboned and all that, and I diced up 3 cups of chicken. Doing 2 recipes. I'm doing the smothered green chili chicken burritos, and then I'm doing the rotel chicken cream cheese burritos. Now these are not authentic Mexican dishes. This is more Americano, Mexicano dishes, but they're good. So in this bowl, I have 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese that I have been sitting out at room temperature. And we are going to beat this until it's really light and fluffy. Okay, sorry about that noise. I can fast forward through that. So it looks pretty light and fluffy. Okay, and to this, I'm having to look at my recipe because it's the other one I don't have to look at the recipe. This one I haven't made that much. Okay, I'm going to get a rubber spatula. I'm going to fold in. It calls for 7 ounces of green chilies, but these little cans of green chilies come in 4.5 ounces. So that's kind of crazy. I guess, I don't know if you can buy a bigger thing of them. But anyway, I'm just going to add 2 of these. It don't make a difference. Unless you don't like green chilies. But if you don't like green chilies, you probably shouldn't be making this. Take your heartburn medicine. Okay. Got that mixed in. Now I'm going to use the juice of 1 lime, which is about a tablespoon. Maybe a tad bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to add, I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 a teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/2 a teaspoon of cumin. Mix that in. Now then, if you like cilantro, I would put a handful of chopped cilantro in here at this time. My husband does not like cilantro. You know, some people like it, some people don't. Some people says it has a soapy taste to it, and I think that's what my husband is tasting. So I don't put cilantro and stuff. If, you know, if I was eating it, if I got a dish at a restaurant where it had cilantro in it, I gobble it up, but he don't like it, so need to make him happy on food. Okay, then I've got 3 cups of the diced chicken. I'm going to fold that in. Okay. Alright, and in a separate bowl, we're going to whisk together some sour cream and salsa verde. And we're going to do 1 cup of sour cream and 16 ounces of salsa verde. That's one thing I've got on my list to make next year is salsa verde. I'm going to plant some tomatillos, see how that goes. Okay. 16 ounces is a jar of salsa verde. I've just got this Hernandez salsa verde mild. We're not big heat people. We can tolerate some heat, but if it's just really, really hot, we just can't take it. Oh, when I was younger, I could just eat up the jalapenos and the hot sauces and all that, but when you get older and you get that old heartburn, indigestion going, you just can't do it anymore. You just can't do it. A whisk. I'm going to put in 8 ounces sour cream. I'm going to whisk this together. Now here's the thing I don't know. I'm wanting this as a freezer meal. I've made this fresh before, you know, just like I am, and cook it and we eat it. I don't know how well sour cream freezes. I am, with it all mixed in with the salsa verde, I'm thinking it's going to be okay. It may have a different texture to it. I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be good and we will eat it. Okay, so I've got that all mixed in. Now, it's time to assemble. I've just got these aluminum pans. I think about them at Walmart, maybe the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. But I'm going to use aluminum pans, and I may have to use 2. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bottom, just to coat it. Get it all mixed in there. Throw that away. Throw that away. Okay, now here's the exciting thing. I'm getting to use my Stacy tortillas that I got from Azure Standard. These are the 10-inch. Are they the 10-inch? I think it's a 10-inch. It just says big. I had these in the freezer, and I've had them sitting down on the counter about an hour, and they are totally unfrozen. Cool, but totally unfrozen. Gotta make me a little room here. I got too much going on today. The recipe says this makes 10. I can't remember if it made, I don't know if I had 8 or 10, but we'll see. Let's see. Let me get assembly line going. Okay, and then you just stuff the tortilla. I don't think it's going to make 10. Stuff it how much you want. Kind of like spread it through. Let's see of that. But that's about how I've got mine. It's flat and kind of spread out. And I'm going to fold the ends in. And then I'm going to pull back, tuck, and then I'm going to tuck this in, and continue to roll. Be tucked in. And I'm putting it seam side down. And we will just continue this process until I get them all done. Okay, it made 6 with the large tortillas. I think it makes 8 or 10 with the small. I think I made 8 last time, and it was the smaller tortillas. But it made 6 with the big tortillas, and that's fine with us because we like to eat. And it fits perfectly in one of these aluminum pans. So next, we're going to pour the rest of our salsa verde sour cream mixture on top. This is where it gets its name, Smothered green chili chicken burritos, because you're smothering it in all this sauce. Okay. And then I'm going to top it with Cheddar Jack, which is not pepper jack, but it's cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. Or you could just do cheddar, or you could just do Monterey Jack. Both are good. I'm going to do mozzarella. Mozzarella is really, an Italian cheese. And even though this isn't really authentic Mexican, you want to try to keep it Mexican-y. We like a lot of cheese. And it melts and it gets all ooey gooey. Okay. Well, there's just a little bit. Might as well pack it on. Yay, I'm so excited for this. Okay, so my aluminum foil out, and we will wrap this up really good in heavy duty foil. When actually we're probably going to eat these next week. You really wouldn't have to do the heavy duty foil if you plan on eating it that week, but you definitely want to do the heavy duty foil if you plan on having it in the freezer for the next month or so. It's all tucked in nice. Then I'm going to get my Sharpie, and I'm going to put on here Smothered green chili chicken. What a name. Chicken burritos. Okay, we got one down. I will put this in the freezer, not right now, but when you're ready for it, take it out of the freezer the night before, let's just say, you know, next Wednesday, I want to have this Thursday night. So Wednesday night, I'll take it out and I'd put it in my refrigerator and let it thaw. And then when I'm ready to cook it, you just put your oven on 350, 375, somewhere, you know, take your pick. I'll do 350, according to how your oven cooks. But put it in the oven, uncover, put it in the oven, and let it all heat up, and the cheese melt, and it's delicious. And we'll usually eat it with chips. You know, we'll slice it up, and then be, you know, eating it with our chips. Okay, so on for the second one. I'm going to, basically the same premise. This is a recipe that I love. Hold on. This is a recipe that I personally love because I've made it for years and years and years and years. My kids grew up on this recipe. And a matter of fact, when my son Cody got married, this was the first recipe that my daughter-in-law asked me for to make for Cody, because she knew he loved it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Now, I will tell you this, when I am making this fresh to cook right then, what I do is I take my 8 ounces of cream cheese, I put it in a pot with a can of Rotel, and I get it all hot and creamy. But for freezer's sake, we're just going to blend it all up together, kind of like we did the other one. I've got 8 ounces, and usually I will double this. Most times I do double it because we'll have it for dinner and then have it for lunch the next couple of days, because they are just as delicious the next day, just heated up in the microwave. Oh, they're so good. Okay, so I've got 1 block, 8 ounces of cream cheese softened, and I'm going to do a blend on those again. But first I'm going to open my Rotel and I'm going to drain it some. You don't have to get all the water off, but like I did that first big gulp out. And I'm going to mix up the sour cream. Okay. Didn't even have to wash my little whiskey things, because all it had on it was sour cream from the last one. I'm doing a can of Rotel. I'm going to mix that up. And then I got another 3 cups of chicken. This is so easy, guys. You already had the chicken cooked and all that. It'd be so easy just to throw together at night. But we just had these a couple weeks ago, so I don't think we want them for at least another week. I'm getting all that cream cheese or some clumps in there. I didn't mix it up good. I'm just kind of getting that all mixed in. Okay. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. And that's basically all I do. You can, which is very good too, in addition to the Rotel, is cut up some like nacho jalapenos, dice them up real small and put them in here. That's good too. I'm just doing a basic. And let me get my tortillas. 2 left. 4. You're basically going to do the same thing. Spread it on here. Roll it up. I'm actually going to spray this with a little olive oil so I don't have a sauce stain on the bottom like I did the other one. Okay. Roll it up. Same side down again. Okay, last one. Put it in here, and this one's going to make, this one's going to make 6 also. And all I do to this is top it with cheddar cheese. Y'all, shredded cheese freezes fine. I like to buy whole blocks of it, shred it up with my food processor, and put it in baggies and stick it in the freezer. It'll last a long time like that. I really don't like using prepackaged cheddar, or cheeses, but you know, you have to deal with what you got. And I don't have any left in the freezer where I shredded. Okay. Y'all don't come at me because of the cheese. We like cheese. We like the cheese. Let's do the same thing with this. Really get in there. This is chicken, burrito, burritos. Okay, we got our 2 freezer meals ready. That's going to be an easy tupper. I mean, do you not just get crazy, you know, after you've worked all day, coming home and trying to decide what to cook for supper? I do. So this is 2. I'm going to be doing some more in the very near future. I'll bring y'all along with me on that. So let me get these in the freezer. Okay guys, I had about 4 cups of chicken left over. I put it in a gallon freezer bag, marked it cooked chicken, 4 cups. I'll stick it in the freezer for whenever I need some cooked chicken for a recipe, so then I don't have to cook some up. These are great for casseroles, more burritos, whatever you need cooked chicken for. You know, chicken salad if you get on a whim and need some chicken. So I'm going to stick that in the freezer. My chicken broth is going. It's going to go for 24 plus more hours. So tomorrow, when it's ready, I'll do a clip of it. My mushrooms are in the dehydrator. They've got about 5.5 hours left on it. So these are 2 things that are just leave it. I'm going to get my kitchen cleaned up. It's a disaster. And thanks for hanging out. I will come back with updates on those 2 things. But really, I appreciate you being here. I'm just doing what I would normally do today and just thought I'd hit the camera up and excuse me, let you see what I did. So anyway, I'll be back when we get through with the other stuff. Hey friends, it's the next day and I just wanted to show you what the mushrooms and the chicken broth turned out to be. Here's the mushrooms, got 6 trays. They dried at 122 degrees. Took about 10 hours for them to dry. But they're real thin, very, very dry, velvet texture. And I'll just put these in a mason jar with the not a cannon lid, but just a plastic screw top lid, and keep those. They can rehydrate in some hot water, you know, for several minutes. Or like I said, I like to just throw these in soups and stuff that's going to be cooking on the stove for a while in liquid, and they'll plump up that way. Here is our chicken stock. Everything is brown and delicious, and I am going to can these up. I'm not going to film me canning them. It's the same process that I used for the beef stock in my previous video. So if you're curious about how to can stock, you can look at that video also. But I'm going to get this canned up and sit down for some chillaxing time. Thanks for joining us, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and like my video. And if you have any questions or anything, just let me know down in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer. Thanks.